Hello, everyone. It's me, the first president to take office from beyond the grave since Joe Biden. That's right, it's me, Grover Cleveland here. You're watching Ink the Book Show, the show that you turn on to turn off. Get a load of this. You can follow Ryan O'Connor at Wrangleshank on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Twitter. And if you like his work on the Bonehead comic, you can also watch his Bonehead cartoon. The link to all these things and more can be found in the description. Furthermore, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to all things Wrangleshank and all things Ink the Book. Thank you.
It's time for Ink the Book Show with your host, Ryan O'Connor. And now, let's ink the book. Whoa. Hi, everybody. It's me, Ryan O'Connor, here with another edition of Ink the Book Show. Probably the first edition of Ink the Book Show where I'm not going to be working on the book. I got to get some writing done on that last little scene before I can dive into it a little more readily. So I think I'm just going to ink and color this drawing of a mushroom-headed guy in my sketchbook. Yeah, let's get into it. I think I'm going to use this pen. Superior Needle Drawing Pen. Just some random brand. Let's see. I think this is what I'm going to use. I think. Okay. So I've missed streaming the past 2 days after a long time of not missing some days. Not missing any days. I think it may have been a couple weeks since I've missed a day. Until, what was it, Sunday. And why was that? My sister's pool party was the day before. I did a stream that day before I left. And then I ended up staying there till like 5 in the morning, and I didn't get home till 6 in the morning. And what else? So that Sunday, I was also supposed to get a new arm mount for my camera here. And I even paid extra money to get it the following morning. And it didn't end up showing up until the evening. So, ripoff. That's okay. So I missed Sunday. Also, I had to go into work. My crummy day job. I had to go into that a few hours early. So a bunch of reasons I didn't stream on Sunday. Because I was half dead from being up all night. Had to go into work early. And I didn't have the arm I was expecting for my camera. Even though I could have streamed with the other one, but it was kind of, my camera was kind of like very loosely. I don't know. I was having trouble positioning it the day before. But what else? I missed Monday because I had a lot of running around to do before the Better Call Saul finale. Because me and my roommate, we always watch Better Call Saul live when it was airing. And that was fun. What a show. I have to say I'm pretty sure I liked Better Call Saul more than Breaking Bad. And my roommate is of the same mind. Though I did restart watching Breaking Bad right after the finale. I only got like, I think 2 whole episodes in, maybe 1.5 episodes in to rewatching Breaking Bad. This guy's got some kind of vines growing around him. This is kind of nice not having to think too hard about what I'm doing so far. Because usually I'm working on the Bonehead book. Which I am still working on. I was writing it a little bit the other day. I finished a scene, and it's kind of 3 small scenes that I'm trying to rewrite so I can redraw them and ink them. And then I'll be done inking the book. 250-page graphic novel, my first graphic novel. That's what this show is generally about. So he's got all these little other mushroom heads sprouting off of his. Oh, you know what? I can't see the chat. There is somebody in here. Not I mean says our friend Motherfucking Joe. These are wholesome mushrooms. I don't know. Portobellos. No, I don't know. What was I going to say? Oh, I was driving in my car and I just started singing the name Lester Fungus. I was like, I should draw a fungusy guy. Lester Fungus, so good to have such a fungi among us. Lester Fungus, pour us a drink and we'll see what you brung us. Lester Fungus. That's what I was singing in my car. You like shrooms on your pizza? I think I'll eat anything on a pizza. It's nice meeting your dad, by the way, on that stream. Was he on the last one? Yeah, he was on recently. Was that the last one I did? I think it was. I was saying something recently, like how my dad is. I might have been saying it to him. Like he's always got a million things to say. Like he can talk to anybody. He's like, and everybody seems to like him. And then I feel like every time he comes on my show, he's like, he clams up and doesn't know how to talk. So I think it was you and him were watching you draw. Yeah. And my brother Liam came on for a minute too. I just saw half my family today because I went to my parents' house because my brother Mike was there with my nephew who just had his first day of kindergarten today. And I went there to bring my nephew a gift because I guess I buy my nephew a gift on his first day of school ever. Actually, I have another nephew who's starting school, his first day of kindergarten next week. Yeah, I got him. He's really into Luigi's Mansion and Mario and Luigi right now. So I got him like a Mario Kart Luigi and a Mario Kart Mario little figure, little Nintendo figure. And then I got him a little Boo figure. And he was really excited about that. He thanked me like a billion schmillion times. And I hung out with my little niece, his sister. We were breaking little twigs against a tree because that was our idea of fun today. I guess. Man, Better Call Saul. I'm so excited that you know, I was sure it was going to end well, but I you know, I was just kind of like bracing myself for it to be a trashy ending or something. But that was such a good show through and through. Like I remember I loved Breaking Bad a whole lot, but then like I think it was season 3. No, I won't say anything, Joe. I know you're catching up. But I remember like season 3 of what do you call it? Of Breaking Bad had this kind of like motif throughout it where they were like teasing something at the beginning of every episode. And then I remember feeling like it didn't pay off really well by the end of the season. Oh yeah, I finally got my own Netflix account because I was on my. I had an account like a what do you call it? Like a profile on my parents for years and years, but then my mom retired recently, and she never watches TV. Well, like my whole life, she's like never really watched TV at all. But now that she's retired, she started watching TV all the time. Or she started watching Netflix all the time, and it was like everybody else was already signed in all the time, so she was like always resetting the password so she could watch stuff. She's like, "It's my account. I paid for it," and it was like I kept having to find out the new password. But I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time to get my own, and so I did, which is a little sad, but I guess I'm a adult. I shouldn't be on my parents' Netflix account. I should have my own kids leeching off my account. it, it feels bad, man. I just got Hulu again too, which I've been off of for a while. Oh, and I finished watching the first season of Shoresy, which is the Letter Kenny spinoff, that I started watching a long, long time ago when it first came out. Mm, do what you do, man. It's your life. Live it as you see fit. There you go. I've seen. I don't know if I've seen the whole first season of Orville. I've seen a good chunk of episodes from the first season, and it sounds like it gets better. I mean, not that it was bad, but it sounds like it gets even better. It's very Star Trekky, which I've never watched, but like they've got like they touch on like philosophical stuff and moral dilemmas and things like that. It seemed pretty cool. Let's see. Some kind of rocks. There's that. Um, what else? What else? Oops. So this is the kind of stuff I do in my sketchbook. I just draw characters. Sometimes I make a whole scene out of it. I don't know what's going on in this background. I was just kind of just drawing lines when I sketched this, which I don't do too often. I don't think. It's kind of abstract. Usually if I do an abstract background, it's just like a simple like shadow in the back. He's like, my brother's growing off of a rock. Or something. I don't know what he's saying. That's got me thinking of that episode of The Simpsons where Bart's class goes to the box factory for a field trip, and it's incredibly boring. And Bart is wearing a red hat, and he leaves it on a conveyor belt or something, and then I forget the specifics of what goes on, but Homer goes to pick him up or something, and Bart's nowhere to be found, but then he finds his hat sitting on top of a box, and he just like falls to his knees. He's like, my boy's a box, damn you, a box. What inspired the mushroom character? Just the fact that I started singing a song in my car while I was driving. I don't know what inspired the lyrics, but I started singing the name Lester Fungus. Lester Fungus, Lester Fungus. So good to have such a fun guy among us. I just randomly sing in my car a lot. And then I was like, I've never drawn a mushroom guy. and I kind of just pictured this guy while I was driving, and then I came home and drew him right before the Better Call Saul finale. I think. Yeah, pretty sure. It was. Okay, I'm gonna erase and start coloring this with my Prismacolor markers. Oh, here's my eraser. So people who don't know how I do what I do on Instagram and Twitter, this is how I do like 90% of my Instagram and Twitter posts, which I was doing daily for the longest time. I wish I could keep up with it daily again, but I wish I could keep up with it daily still, but it's gotten tough. It's gotten tricky. Do I you know why I hate sketching competitions? Because they always end in a draw. That is a total ripoff. You're right. That's the worst joke ever I did. No. Here's the worst joke I ever heard. Two popes walk into a bar. Ouch. I stole the punchline, but I made up the two popes walk into a bar part, which I think is actually the funny part of the joke. But I've got him. I got him thinking. Let's see. What color is a Lester fungus? Well, I don't know why, but I'm going to go with this cloud blue. Because it looks kind of, I know it looks kind of purpley gray. And that's kind of what I have in my head for this part of his body. This is also one of my favorite colors of the of my Prismacolor markers right now. Oh, and this particular marker, look how well it's doing. This is one that had dried up on me, and I never knew this was a thing, but I saw an artist do this recently, where you can pull out the nib on these, because these can be expensive. They're like $7 a marker at the stupid art store, or more like $2 or $3 if you go to dickblick.com. But still, that adds up. But I found this out that if you sometimes it's just the alcohol in the marker evaporates and it's not really out of ink. So what you can do is you can kind of funnel isopropyl alcohol into there. So I bought a thing of 70% isopropyl alcohol for like, I don't know, those go pretty cheap, like $1. And I used a hollowed out mechanical pencil. I don't know where it might have gotten to. I think this might be no, but there's like a one that I pulled the eraser out and it had no ink. What do you call it? It had no graphite in it. And it was just like see through, hollow, like you could look through the peephole there. I know I'm blurry, but you could look through the little hole and see light at the end. And I kind of like, let me pull this out a smidge. I had like a little bowl under me, and I poured isopropyl alcohol into that part, and it trickled into the pen, and it was like good as new. I gave it some I had to give it some time. I did this on the show one day. It was just an experiment because I didn't even think I could pull it off, even though I'd seen other people do it. And at first it didn't work, and then I waited till the end of the show, and then tried the marker again, and it was working like a charm. And look, it's still working. So I think I'm gonna, before I throw any of my markers out, I'm gonna try pouring some alcohol into them. get this out. I'm gonna. There we go. Oh, not bad. What am I doing? Doing this. Doing this. That's something I got from Aqua Teen Hunger Force a long time ago. It's like, Shake, what are you doing? He's like, what? I'm doing this. Not to evade your question, I just did I do something that I didn't explain or didn't wasn't clear on? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. What else? I'm gonna. Is this the right color? That's a little dark. I think maybe something like this. Driftwood. Is that what I want? That's kind of mushroomy. Underside of a mushroomy. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm looking for. Lester fungus, Lester fungus. So just pour us a drink and we'll see what you brung us. Lester fungus, Lester fungus. So when I was at my parents' house hanging out with my nieces and nephew, we were drawing with chalk for a little while on the driveway, and I drew a picture of my niece, and both my niece and my nephew told me it didn't look like her. And my nephew goes, "You're a really good artist, Rhino. You should redraw that." And so I redrew it, and they still didn't think it looked like her. But I think that one was actually much better. I should have taken a picture of it. Driftwood. That's another one I like. Driftwood. Red. Gotta have a red A. How about this is carmine red. What's the other one? There's cherry. Terracotta is one I really like. Another terracotta. You can tell I like it. Pale vermilion. I think I'm looking for one called Poppy Red. Yeah, here it is. It's kind of the same as the other one I had, but and this one's a little rundown, I think. I don't know if this will make the whole use that I need out of it. If I really wanted to, I could fill it with some isopropyl alcohol. Okay, I'm gonna grab that other color though. The other one that's kind of like it is, oh, right here, Carmine Red. Basically the same color. Yeah, that's working. Wow, that is very much the same color. At least these two that I own presently are like imperceptibly different. They look exactly the same as far as I can tell. I thought they were more different. Let me. Okay, I don't know what's been. Now I can't see, so that's why the light. I don't want it to be too washed out on screen, but I have a hard time seeing it if I don't have the light a little more directly on it. I think after I finish this drawing, I'm gonna work on writing that scene that I'm trying to redo. It's not a lot of writing, but it's like I sit down to do it, and it's very daunting. I have an outline that pretty much tells me what I have to write. But even still. Eat. Okay, and then I think I'm gonna do something with the. This is almond milk. I like letting some of the white show through here. Makes it makes the color stand out a little more. I don't know if it's that readable on screen. What else? What else? I'm gonna do the inside of his mouth, his tongue there. I'm gonna get I'm gonna go with this purple, grade lavender. By God, he had yellow eyes. That's from A Christmas Story. How do you comic? Well, there's only one way to make a comic, and that is to sit down and do it. So what I did was, when I was making, now I have 240 or so finished or inked pages over there, but the way I kind of went about it was I wrote a script. I set out to do 100-page. No, I actually set out to do an 80-page script because I thought it was going to. I figured my understanding was about one script page tends to equal 2 comic pages. Is what I've heard from people, and that was essentially true for me too. But my script ended up being 100 pages. It was like 105, and I cut it down to 100, or 107 or something, and I cut it down to 100. And then writing it was kind of challenging because I had the Bonehead story that I am making. It was like I had a bunch of scenes that I wanted to do, like not knowing how they were connected. Like I had characters I wanted to work into it, and scenes that I had just playing in my head, and not knowing how they all fit together. And I just kind of I would kind of write chunks of outlines for myself where I'd figure out how this part and this part might be connected, and this part might be have something to do with each other. And then I would write that chunk of the story, just not so much dialogue or anything or tiny details, but I would write the kind of like a paragraph of what had to happen in this part of the story. And I would do that here and there whenever I got something kind of generally figured out, or whenever I needed to figure out how to connect one part of a story to another part of the story. I would just take these chunks of these bricks of a story idea, or I'd work out a brick of a story idea, and then I kind of would leave that at the top of the page, and then I'd have that open in one document, and then I would go to my script, and I'd kind of work it all out. So, and all my dialogue right now in my script, I would say, is temporary. I plan on punching that up a lot when I actually do the word bubbles, the word balloons on my pages digitally, which is going to be the last thing I do. But I'm always, every time I read through my script, I'm sometimes I make notes of what I want lines to be instead. I think of a punchier way to put it, or something funnier or something like that. So That was my biggest challenge, was writing, I think. I mean, it's all challenging in its own way. What else? What else? What else? I take a cream. I'm gonna give him a cream colored collared shirt, like inspired by Dwight Schrute in this moment. That's what I'm thinking in the back of my head when I select cream for this guy's shirt. But so the next thing, once I had my script written, was I went, and I've been showing this lately, where like I would go through. I went through. I kind of did it as I was going, and some sections, like this one in particular, because it's right here, I didn't do it. But for most of my script, I would go through and just, okay. So I knew I wanted a page to end here, so I did a straight line across the page. And now we're on to page 7 of the comic. This is page 3 of the script, page 7 of the comic. And I'm like, okay, I want this to be a panel. I want this to be a panel. I want this to be a panel. And I know my pages tend to have 6 panels comfortably if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I know I can squeeze more panels in, but if I want to do it comfortably, I don't want to do too many more than 6. Like 7 can be easily done, 8, 9 even maybe. If I get 10 panels on a page, that's getting a little crowded for the style that I was doing this comic. I do have a page where I have like 30 panels, just because it's kind of meant to be a chaotic page. And then, but you know, I'm kind of picturing it as I'm kind of breaking it out. So this panel, or this page 7. And I kind of keep going until I know, I know page 7 starts here in the script at this point, and then I kind of like scan it, and I'm looking for a page break. That's probably the first thing I do. I'm looking for where I want page 8 to start. And I know it can't be too far, otherwise I'm going to have a lot of panels. Oh, look, I don't even have the next page in order here. So where's page 4? Just for... Here we go. It's all disheveled for me doing this on other streams. So I'm looking for where I want page 8 to kind of start. And this is what I landed on. So I would do another line there. And then I'm like, okay, so I want a panel here. I want this to be a panel, this to be a panel, this to be a panel, this to be a panel. And I might just keep making panels until I hit about 6 or so. And I landed on 7 for this page. And it's a bit of just feeling it out. You, like I say, you don't want your page to be too busy or too long or too crowded, but that's how I broke down the page, and I just put marks and number the panels so I know I'm not getting too crazy and in the weeds. But so this panel is just this dialogue. This panel is this action in this dialogue, etc. And then I would look at how many panels I wanted that page to be. Stream keeps buffering. Rip off. Sorry. I wonder. Well, I'm gonna try and pull up the stream, but I'll keep talking. So looking at my script then with the panel breakdown written on it. I'll I had a stack of note cards, and then I would sorry, I'm trying to get into the stream just to see. I would kind of like make my layout. And I'd be like, okay, so I know I want 5 panels, say, and I'm kind of like looking at the action and what I want to happen on the page, and that I kind of feel it out to determine how I want the layout, and I'll just kind of rough something in and see if that works for me. And then I would very loosely sketch my images onto this note card. Why on the note card? I heard other artists doing it, and I liked it because I could throw it down really fast and quick, and without too much pressure to be good. Like it would just be a quick gestural kind of farted out, but I would just be kind of thinking about oh, it's back. Good. Well, I'm glad, because it looked like it was playing fine for me, at least on YouTube. I checked it. And then I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. So this might not even be the best example of it, but I would try and think of layout and just get something that, I don't know. I kind of figure out how I want the flow of the page to be a little bit, or never mind. Dang. But anyway, I would plan my pages out real roughly on these note cards. Stream paused and won't continue. What? Well, I don't know what to do about that. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's me or if it's your end, maybe, but yeah, that stinks. I'm sorry. But anyway, so what I would do is I'd scan 4 of these pages, or 4 of these note cards at a time. I'd have them like, and just scan it in. I'd take it into Photoshop and blow it up times 3 times its size. And I would print out, generally I would print out 2 rows of panels at a time, because that would fit very well on, dang it. He says it's not working. Be right back. It looks like it's working on my end, but you know, I'm also a buffoon. I'm definitely a layman, so I could be doing something wrong. I don't know. It looks like it's working on my end, though. And then, yeah, I would print it out 3 times its size, and that would fit. Usually, it would fit 2 rows of panels onto a piece of copy paper, like an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that comes out of my printer. And so then I would have a bunch of these. So I have my bad scribbly drawings blown up 3 times their size from the note card. And what I was doing for a majority of this book was I'd get out my little $20 light table from Amazon, and I have 3 Bonehead sketchbooks that I've used throughout the making of this book. And so I have a lot of drawings of Denton Crooks. Oh, there's Billy TV. There's Bonehead, our hero. The Rhino security guard is grabbing Billy here. I love that drawing. We got some Mr. Shivers wearing his smiley face mask there. There's Bonehead. He's reaching into his head. He's trying to pull his arms out of his eye. He's using his foot. So what I was doing was using this light table, and I would trace these scribbly drawings into my sketchbooks and try to clean them up as I went. And then I would trace it again onto my 11 by 17 comic book artboard from Canson. Like first I would I would use a ruler and throw down my panels, and then I would trace it again onto these art boards and try and do like a second pass of cleaning it up, and then I ink them. And I learned how to. Here, I'll show some of my inks since I haven't inked in a few streams now. So here's some of the first pages. I taught myself how to use an ink and brush just for this project. So this is like page, this is page 1 right here. Ooh, space cicadas. So here's Denton Crooks as a young astronaut. Look, he has hair here. Here's more. I practiced inking before I started drawing this book. Like you'll even see my earliest streams on YouTube. I'm just inking drawings of Bonehead that I did on note cards. Again, note cards. I was trying to do 100 Bonehead ink note cards to practice using a brush before I started the book. Here's my cover. My front cover. It's going to have a Bonehead logo here. It's going to say like Ryan O'Connor. I don't know. It'll say Penguin Publishing, Scholastic, Image Comics, DC. No, I don't know. It'll probably just say my name in the title because no one would ever pay me to make this book. Here's a space drawing. That's just me being self-deprecating because I think it's funny. To cut myself down. Oh look, here's an early page. This is actually before that page I said was page 1. So here's a little guy in a spaceship going through space. Okay, like I said, it's gonna be a 250-page book when I'm done. Okay, getting all this stuff back out of my way. What time is it? It's 9:30. I'm busting my dresser up. Cool. Let's see this dude's tie. But that's pretty much all the steps I know. So, and I inked the whole book live. If you ever want to see me inking any of the pages, every page has been inked live, and it's all archived on my YouTube channel, which is Wrangle Shank, just like this Twitch channel for Joe. But if you watch it on, if you check me out on YouTube, it's all archived there, the entire book. From the front cover, I also did the back cover, and yeah, about 240 pages so far, probably. And yeah, you can see how I white stuff out all the time. You can see how I redraw stuff all the time as I go. Yeah, because I'm a bumbling boob. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making it up. Like I'm learning it as I go, and I've learned a lot of how I go about making comics from watching other artists streaming comic drawing, like or this guy Brian Shearer, who still does stuff on his channel. He's Brian Shearer on YouTube and on Instagram and all that stuff. I watched this guy, Elliot Fernandez, the jerkmonger, on Instagram. He does his comic. I watched for years. I watched Doug TenNapel do his books on YouTube. Who else? There's this guy Gabe El Taib. I've watched color comics from time to time. Trying to think. There's other guys too. Oh, Jake Parker. I watch him ink. Jason Brubaker. I like him. He does this cool book. I'll show you this real quick. I backed this on. I don't know if it was Indiegogo or Kickstarter. I think he did it on both. He was crowdfunding this one. Phobos. Ooh. And this book cover glows in the dark. So that's really cool. He does really cool stuff. He does a lot of page spreads like this, like where it's just like one picture and a lot of dialogue or something. Or like, see like how this is a page spread with just 3 panels. It's like this big panel, this panel, this panel. He does a lot of page spreads like that throughout the whole book. But this is really cool. I guess someday there's going to be a part 2. I think he intends to kind of keep this going for a bit. He's also got some other books called Sithra and I forget what else, but I read most of Sithra on Webtoon, which is like a comic website app kind of thing. But this is cool. I should show. I should give a good preview of this book. Let's see. And this is him remaking a comic that he had previously made when he was a teenager. Let me see. So she's coming to live at this castle. She's going to be a lab assistant, just so she has a place to live, I think. And she comes up to the house in the rain, and she sees this guy. She thinks this is the scientist that she's coming to work for. And she sees his shadow. And he's like doing something up on the roof, and lightning strikes. He falls. Kablam! She goes, no! He's falling. She's darting after him. It's kind of a cool pose. It's a very simple style, but dynamic. I don't know. He worked for DreamWorks doing storyboards for many years. and goes crashing down through the bushes into the little moat surrounding the castle here. She dives in after him. Look at the arm sticking out of the bushes. So maybe he fell in the bushes. She swims across the moat to go save him. And what is it? She pulls a hand. Just hold on and... Oh, it's an arm. It comes off. Splork. And it's this Frankenstein-y looking guy. And he's got a bunch of arms sprouting out of him. So that's my little preview of Jason Brubaker's book. Phobos. So I watched a lot of those guys make comics. And that's kind of where I learned anything about comics. I also used to read a lot of... I got into caring about comics at all when I was a teenager, reading Jonan Vasquez's stuff. Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, I Feel Sick is my favorite. That one's in color. There's only 2 issues. Squee, Filler Bunny. Jonan Vasquez is screamingly funny to me. And he did the Invader Zim cartoon on Nickelodeon. Let me see. I want some gray for this stone. Oh, wait, I'd rather color him. I think I'm just going to color him, and then I'll, since I've been on for an hour, I'll finish coloring him. And then I'll scram, I think. And I'll finish coloring this off camera. Because I do want to get to some writing tonight. Let's see. What color? That might be a little too dark for shadow. There. This is tulip yellow. Ooh, that one. Okay. So tulip yellow and cream are good, I guess, together. I'm going to use this. Where did I put it? I like using this cloud blue for shadows a lot. Something actually that I already didn't do that I should have done was that I've found really effective. I'm just not used to working that way yet. Is if you lay down your shadows first, it works better. Like if you go with marker drawings, if you take your gray or your, in my case, cloud blue or purple is good for shadows sometimes. Lay down all your shadows first, and then you lay down your colors on top of the shadows. It works out better than doing your coming up with your shadows after the fact. For me, the problem tends to be that the shadow marker doesn't show up as well, and sometimes it turns the color lighter, like I think it's doing on this red. It turns the shadow color lighter rather than darker. going to be a good shadow on itself for his body. So let me find something to... I think I'll probably use this gray. No, this is Brittany blue. What is that going to look like? That's a good heavy shadow, but I need something lighter for most of the shadow on him. I can use it on this guy in the back a little bit. Yeah, it's not exactly that it turns it lighter, but some colors it makes like a cloudy kind of thing instead of a shadow. Like once it dries. You said it's back. Good. I don't know. You updated Twitch? Do you think it was you or do you think it's me? Because I've been just talking anyway this whole time. Because even if I knew how to fix it, no, not even if I knew. Even if it is me, I don't know how to fix it. I'm gonna give him like khaki colored pants, I think. Oatmeal, that's a good one for that. Not working so far. Rip. This is tragic. Well, I'm glad I'm not working on my comic if this stream isn't working. And then I don't know. I'm just making him look kind of dirty. I think these tend to have what would the word be? Like this kind of corduroy. Like it's a bunch of like fibers. And then what else? His tie. I don't know what colors to make his tie. I'm gonna go with this kind of crummy green, this light olive green. That is not very light. And I'll alternate it with what does chartreuse look like? Yeah. Very green tie. And And I'll go in with that. How about eggshell for his teeth? I'm going to go use the same thing for these other heads, little eyes. And then I think last little touch, I think I'm going to use this little avocado. And I'm going to go over some of these vines on him just to kind of make him look a little more planty. Maybe I'll add some of that color to these little faces. Avocado is one of my favorite colors with Prismacolor too. He looks real sickly. Joe, I'm sorry. I'm sorry it's not coming through well for you. I don't know if it's... I really don't know if it's my stupidness or what. Yay. Okay, so I'll mess with the background on this later. But I think I'm going to eat something and work on some writing. And I will be back on here tomorrow evening. Hope it works for you better next time, Joe. Maybe you can catch the rebroadcast. Hopefully it plays better. But dang. Anyway, I'll be pretty bummed out if I go back and watch this and it's all like crummy throughout it. Anyway, if you like this stream, if you like people making comics, learning how to make comics, check out some of my other streams on Twitch or on YouTube. He says, so sci-fi. You can, let's see, I have a link in the description, or if you're on Twitch, I'll have a link in the description momentarily to my YouTube, Twitch, social media, all that other junk. In the meantime, here's this.
The Nephilim spider. The tiger butterfly. The spider works tirelessly, maintaining its web in order to catch its meals. The butterfly, however, just bums around looking for loose change in the couch cushions and eating all the spider's Cheerios. The spider is sick and tired of this butterfly cramping its style and wrecking his web all the time. The butterfly does not want to move back in with his lame parents. But the spider has had enough and sends the butterfly packing. Predator and prey, or just lousy roommates.